What do you think happens when we die, Keanu Reeves?
Those who love us will miss us.
Moments like this show that Keanu Reeves is a different kind of celebrity. You've likely seen many articles and videos claiming that Keanu breaks the internet. But the truth is that what's amazing about him is that he seems to break things that are much more interesting and transcendent than the trend of the internet. In this interview, for example, he broke with the format of a comedy show where the audience is used to laughing at the guests' responses. When Keanu answers in such a wise way, the audience doesn't know how to react to a completely different response. In other words, are stunned by the Keanu-ness of Keanu Reeves. But what if I tell you this is not the only thing Keanu breaks? What happens if I tell you that Keanu Reeves and Alexandra Grant, his current partner, give us an even bigger lesson? Join me then to watch this video essay where I tell you why this relationship is such a relevant topic for society to such a degree that several articles have been written on the subject. I guarantee that you too will be stunned by the uniqueness of this relationship. The popularity of Keanu Reeves reached unprecedented levels in 2019 thanks to his appearances in movies like Toy Story 4 and John Wick 3. During this year, it seemed like the entire internet was in love with Keanu, and we all posted things about Keanu, doing everyday things that Keanu does, and for some reason this made us happy. The phenomenon was so big that it acquired on social networks the name of KEANU'S, referring to the word Renaissance, that is rebirth in English. Let's say that 2019 was a year in which we came to appreciate the canons of Keanu again. And the fact that such a big celebrity behaves in a kind, modest and decent way is why images in which he is seen traveling by subway and giving up his seat or bringing food to the workers of his movie or helping the passengers of a plane or this 100% real photo in which we see him helping Santa Claus to save Christmas are so viral. Because we like to see that not all Hollywood actors are arrogant narcissists wrapped up in scandals, a path that Keanu could well have taken due to his tragic past and the fame he has. The point is, we like Keanu Reeves for the right reasons. However, many people's hearts were broken when they saw Keanu show up at an art event hand in hand with Alexandra Grant. This caused a social media stir for various reasons. First of all, we have the fact that Keanu had remained single for almost 2 decades. In fact, his last relationship was with his personal assistant, Jennifer Syme, a relationship that ended shortly after Jennifer and Keanu's son was stillborn on December 24, 1999. A couple of weeks later, Jennifer was involved in a car accident where she lost her life. That's why many people were happy to see Alexandra and Keanu's relationship. It took him almost 2 decades to heal and be ready for another relationship. However, there's also the other side. It turns out that many people seem to be dissatisfied with Alexandra, as if for some reason she wasn't up to Keanu's level. Here is where we could say that Alexandra is a globally recognized visual artist, whose works are exhibited around the world, but I think it's more important to know that she and Keanu have been friends for many years, and both have collaborated on projects like the book Oath to Happiness, where he talks about how to deal with depression. So it seems that both are very interesting people who share viewpoints and interests, something very important within a relationship. However, in the minds of many people, Keanu's girlfriend should have been a young actress or model, because that's what we socially expect from him. And that's what many actors like Leonardo DiCaprio, who usually dates women half his age, have accustomed us to. This is when Alexandra Grant and John Wick have to face a very powerful enemy called gender stereotypes. Gender stereotypes are a set of ideas constructed by society that reinforce the idea of how men and women should behave simply because they are men or women. Things like pink for girls, blue for boys, men don't cry, or the fact that we think women are fragile and sensitive. These stereotypes result in a type of discrimination called sexism. In the case of Keanu and Alexandra, many people initially criticized the fact that she was too old for him. Later, when they found out that Keanu is 55 years old and Alexandra is only 46, people began to accuse Alexandra of being careless with her image or not aging well. However, we have to stop and think, what do we think a 46-year-old woman should look like? What's happening here is that we're used to seeing celebrities like 55-year-old Sandra Bullock or 50-year-old Jennifer Lopez defy age through rigorous physical workouts, cosmetic surgeries, and dyeing their gray hair, things that we socially consider normal. That is, we tend to think that women have the obligation to do everything possible to look younger, and especially to hide their gray hair, a topic that seems very different in men and women. On one hand, it's socially accepted for us men to have gray hair. Keanu and many other celebrities show them off, and they even have a reputation for giving us personality. On the other hand, Alexandra Grant's gray hair was so criticized that she recently posted on her social media an article from the International Journal of Cancer, which says that women who use chemicals to alter their hair color have a higher risk of getting breast cancer, accompanied by the following statement: "I love and support that every woman can choose how she wants to look at any age. But if women are losing their lives due to beauty standards, then let's talk about beauty standards." A statement that certainly shows us that Alexandra and Keanu have a common taste for breaking the mold. All of this does not mean that it's wrong for a woman to want to dye her gray hair or undergo cosmetic surgeries, as long as it's a personal decision. This also doesn't mean that Leonardo DiCaprio's younger partners aren't valid. The problem comes when we as a society assume that things have to be this way by force. That's when we fall into sexism, this obsession with wanting to see young and perfect bodies. It gets to such a degree that many actresses like Lily Reinhardt or Camila Mendes from the Riverdale series or Zendaya have publicly denounced the fact that their photos have been photoshopped against their will to make them look thinner in magazines, even though all of them follow a very intense exercise and diet regimen so they are not overweight. Unfortunately, this doesn't seem to be enough for the magazines, and the visual aspect is not the only problem with the media in this whole Keanu and Alexandra phenomenon. It turns out that since they were seen at the art event together, many articles have been written about it. However, the amazing thing is that many of these articles, I understand that reference. Invisibility, in which the work or merit of certain people is omitted. Perhaps this doesn't seem like a big deal to you. However, there have been cases where Shakira, an internationally famous singer, has been called Piqué's wife, and there was even a case where a married couple won the Nobel Prize in Medicine, and articles that said things like the scientist Edward Moser and his wife, without ever mentioning her name despite having exactly the same merit as her husband. By the way, her name is May Britt. The point is that phenomena like Keanu Reeves' relationship with Alexandra Grant and everything it triggered highlight that we are still victims of many stereotypes. Stereotypes that ultimately have real consequences in people's lives, men and women. To give some examples, many women are not considered for jobs in higher positions because stereotypes tell us that men are better leaders. Similarly, socially we tend to think that the man should be the economic pillar of the house, and both concepts are equally ridiculous. And the dangerous thing is that sexism is a type of discrimination that can be so subtle that many of us don't even realize we're doing it. Or we justify it thinking that it's not a big deal, or it's a custom, or it's just the way it is. Fortunately, there are people like Alexandra Keanu and many others who show us that patterns can be broken, that you can be thoughtful on a comedy show, that you can be a big celebrity without being a narcissist, or that you can be a 46-year-old woman and decide not to dye your hair. Now it's up to us to choose between taking the blue pill, where nothing changes, or taking the red pill, following the white rabbit, realizing that discrimination is real and starting to do something about it. Don't go yet. If you like this video essay, I recommend this other one where I analyze in depth the controversy of the Captain Marvel movie. If you got to this point in the video, I assure you that you will like it. That's all for today. I am Go, the Geek Monitor, and I invite you to keep looking beyond the obvious.